Want to keep Frank in suspense there because I was about to go on, then he started talking about, oh, I'm late. So I just wanted him to get his comments out before I start. And he did do a posture check, so I'll go ahead and do a posture check real quick. Thank you for the posture check, Twitch. So I won't show his comments, but Frank's always in here, just like, hey, get the show on the road, and whenever I'm ready, I'll put the show on the road. All right. But thank you, Frank. Thank you for being here, though. Thank you for being here. Thank you for anybody that is jumping on. Welcome to A Ray of Sunshine, season three. Excuse me, episode two. Um, so glad to be here tonight to give y'all some positive stories and some motivational videos for this evening. Troy, hey Troy, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So good to see you. Hopefully you're having a great Tuesday, and hopefully you're doing good. So good to see you. Frank says you're my good friend now. Exactly. Yes, it has been a while since I've seen Troy, but it's so good to see him on here. Today's show, we're gonna have six positive stories and four videos um, for the episode tonight. So hopefully you guys are ready, tuned in, settled in, or if you want to listen to the background, that's fine. Lurkers are welcome. As always, I really do appreciate you guys so much and y'all support. And thank you for coming by for the season three premiere as well. Really do appreciate that as well and y'all support. So before I get started, um, as always, make sure to share this out to your social medias, your Twitters, Facebook, all of that, as we try to spread some positivity in 2022, as well as to auto host on your channel. And it's so hard to say auto host since they took away hosting, but auto host to your channel. Just add me to your channel lineup. I'll pop onto your channel, and hopefully we'll gain some more viewers. But um, again, spreading some positivity in 2022. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our first story for tonight. Positive stories. We'll have six stories, like mentioned earlier, and later on in the show, we will have four positive videos. A couple of them are are newsworthy, positive news as well. So we want to stay tuned for that later on in the show. Frank says you're my second host. Thank you, Frank. I know who's first, so I'll take whoever was first. I know who it is. And yes, thank you for giving Troy a shout out. Again, really good guy. Um, really, really good guy, and it always helps out the supporters here on Twitch and other platforms that I have seen him on. So he's really, really, really good guy. All right, so our first story for tonight, and Tim jumps in here later on. He'll be appreciative of the first story. Mental health focuses is bringing suicides down sharply among Air Force, Marines, and Army. And this is for Andy Corbley of the Good News Network for October 25th of 2022. So if you guys are ready, we're going to talk about this. This is kind of some good news as well. Just hearing um, that the mental health is bringing suicides down to the military, which is kind of awesome. So that's kind of some good news. So we're going to go ahead and hear this story. So if you guys are ready, and I do apologize for the ads. Somehow ads are popping back up on these story things. I don't know why. But I do apologize for any ads you see on here, and some of them will be political ads. So I'll try to read through the stories as quickly as possible, but please ignore the ads as well in the process, in case there's something interesting you see. But all right, so if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get started with our first story for tonight. A significant drop in the rates of suicide among active military members that was observed over 2021 has continued into the first 6 months of 2022, driven chiefly by sharp drops among the Marine Corps and Air Force. The declines come as a result of increased attention to the issue among high ranking officers in the Department of Veteran Affairs. According to the data, the number of suicides in the Air Force and Marine Corps dropped by more than 30% in 2021 compared with 2020, and the Navy saw a 10% decline. The Army saw a similar 30% decrease for the first 6 months of this year compared with the same time period last year. All the services have been struggling to combat the complex issue of suicide throughout. Lost track there. See, okay. Complex issues of suicide throughout the ranks while dealing simultaneously with the dual challenges of insufficient staffing of mental health care workers and continuing stigma of seeking help professionally. For this, PBS reports the services have been increasingly taking advantage of military chaplains, health and fitness coaches, and other support staff to support suicide prevention in mental health care programs. Quote, the amount of attention that we're paying to it, I think, is hopefully, we're cautiously optimistic, what is translating, excuse me, into the downward trend. Yvette Borgatti, the acting assistant Army Secretary for Manpower, told the AP on Thursday. The Pentagon is working on filling a new force of 2,000 mental health care workers, but meanwhile, some senior officers are requiring soldiers to visit a counselor every so often. Lieutenant General Douglas Sims, for example, mandated once a year visits um, with counselors at his post on Fort Riley, Kansas. All but 10 of the 14,000 staff used their 60-minute session to talk. As part of our 25th anniversary celebration, GNN is donating a case of our books. And now the good news to the James A. Hawley Veterans Hospital in Tampa, Florida to help fight depression. That's an awesome story to kick it off. Again, the suicide rates are going down. They're talking to counselors, um, but just good numbers here. Again, according to data, the number of suicides in the Air Force and the Marine Corps dropped by more than 30% in 2021 compared with 2020. And the Navy saw a 10% decline. So hopefully more. Again, we're still almost at the end of the year, so kind of love to see an update on how those numbers are trending. But I'm glad that it's going down, 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 which is awesome. And and again, all the resources they have at hand to help them, get through all the mental aspects of, say, like war. Some of them went to war and still have those setbacks. Could be family life. It could be, it could be anything. And really, really is a good thing that they're talking to counselors and, um, you know, having them solve the issues that will put them in the right track there. So our first story for tonight, mental health focus is bringing suicides down sharply among Air Force, Marines, and Army. And again, this is for Andy Corbley of the Good News Network for October 25th of 2022. And all of our stories for tonight is again from the goodnewsnetwork.org. Make sure to visit the website. They really do have some very good stories on there. And any news stories that I do not feature, yes, make sure to visit the website. And I'm also trying to kick off a YouTube. If I see any good stories that I don't feature on this show, that I'll try to put it in a separate YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. So I'm gonna try to see if I can get that started there as well for any extra stories that you are looking for. We're going on to story number two, and battery tech breakthrough paves way for mass adoption of affordable fast charging electric cars. And this is from Andy Corbley, again for the Good News Network for October 25th of 2022. And before we get started for our second story, let's go ahead and check comments real quick here. And I'm Troy, no problem. No problem. Let's see. What's Frank says? Frank says, well, you're gonna lose track even more. What are you talking about? Anyway, um, and Frank says, hey, look at your Other screen. Why? Uh, New update on Twitch. Yes, I will get to that actually at the end of the show on the new updates coming up for Twitch. If anybody hasn't known, um, especially for live streamers, but I think it could be also for other guests as well. They have started a new superstar feature where it's just like Haps and I think Periscope did it one time, or it probably was the voice thing, but still, where guests can now come on to our streams. So I'll get to that at the end of the show and chat about that a little bit and all of that. And Frank is here just putting in points for me. Hydrate, stretch, and lose my glasses. Well, I can hydrate and stretch. I'll lose my glasses later. How about that? But I can hydrate and stretch though. So we're gonna hydrate first. Well, no, we can stretch first. Thank you for the points there. Right, so there you go. Right, and then we're gonna go ahead and hydrate as well. Whoops. And I've actually got water this time. So so thank you, thank you. This guy, I know, right? This guy. All right. I'll lose the glasses later. I will remember that later on. So probably during the videos I'll go ahead and lose. All right. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and start story number 2. Again, battery tech breakthrough paves way for mass adoption of affordable fast charging electric cars. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get started and hey, talk about the future of that's heading towards the country and some of the world. Some electric cars here. So let's get started. A breakthrough in electric vehicle fast charging battery design from Penn State has enabled a 10-minute charge time for a typical EV battery. The record breaking combination of a shorter charge time and more energy required for longer travel range came from heating the battery to a Goldilocks zone, which has proven difficult for engineers thus far. Their findings are hoped to accelerate the sale of EVs and were announced on October 12th in the journal Nature. Quote, the need for smaller, faster charging batteries is greater than ever, said Chao Yang Wang, professor of mechanical engineering at Penn State and lead author of the study. There are simply not enough batteries and critical raw materials, especially those produced domestically, to meet anticipated demand. In August, California's Air Resources Board passed an extensive plan to restrict and ultimately ban the sale of gasoline powered cars within the state. By 2035, the largest auto market in the United States will have effectively retired the internal combustion engine. If new car sales are going to shift to battery powered electric vehicles, EVs, Wang explained they'll need to overcome two major drawbacks. They are too slow to recharge and too large to be efficient and affordable. Instead of taking a few minutes at the gas pump, depending on the battery, some EVs can take all day to recharge. Quote, our fast charging technology works for most energy dense batteries and will open a new possibility to downsize electric vehicle batteries from 150 to 50 kilowatts without causing drivers to feel range anxiety, said Wang, whose lab partnered with state college based startup AC Power to develop the technology. Um, this quote, the smaller, faster charging batteries will dramatically cut down battery costs and usage of critical raw materials such as cobalt, graphite, and lithium, enabling mass adoption of affordable electric cars. The technology relies on internal thermal modulation, an active method of temperature control to demand the best performance possible from the battery, Wang explained. Batteries operate most efficiently when they are hot, but not too hot. Keeping batteries consistently at just the right temperature has been a major challenge for battery engineers. Historically, they have relied on external bulky heating and cooling systems to regulate battery temperature, which responds slowly and wastes a lot of energy. Wang and his team decided to instead regulate the temperature from inside the battery. The researchers developed a new battery structure that adds an ultra thin nickel foil as the fourth component besides anode, um, electrolyte, and cathode. Acting as a stimulus, the nickel foil self regulates the battery's temperature and reactivity, which allows for 10-minute fast charging on just about any EV battery, Wang explained. Quote, true fast charging batteries will have immediate impact, the researchers write. Since there are not enough raw materials for every internal combustion engine car to be replaced by a 150 kilowatt equipped EV, fast charging is imperative for EVs to go mainstream. The study's partner, EC Power, is working to manufacture and commercialize the fast charging battery for an affordable and sustainable future of vehicle electrification. And this is an awesome read because, kind of say like me and probably some others that are worried about, we're about to transition to battery powered cars. How long will these cars charge? I think some of them take a while. Um, you know, um, that's probably the main factor. That's the concern. How long will these cars charge? But probably the others is, will we have any more charging ports? I think that's probably for a different story or a different topic later for cars to get the battery charged. But something like this to have a battery, charge for 10 minutes. Say like if you're low, plug it in, 10-minute charge, and you're on your way, which is kind of neat and good. But also, hopefully, the batteries can last long. For say, like if you're charging it for 10 minutes, hopefully the batteries can keep that power and not go out, drain out that fast. So we'll see. We'll see about these fast charging batteries, but it's a good thing to have, especially if we're moving on to this age of going electric, that we need something fast charging and hopefully affordable coming down the line. So battery tech breakthrough paves way for mass adoption of affordable fast charging electric cars. And this is from Andy Corbley of the Good News Network for October 25th of 2022. As we go on to story number 3 of this evening, and let's see what we got here. We'll load up here. And story 3 is a tiny home village in Salt Lake City, Utah. I remember seeing this uh, for the homeless here. So there we go. Tiny home village for Salt Lake City's homeless gets green light for 430 units. And this is from Andy Corbley for October 26th of 2022. Let's see if we catch up with any comments here before I get started. I think we're still caught up with the comments, which is good. So we're going to go ahead and start story number 3 of 6. And also coming up later on in the show, we will have positive videos. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And that being said, we'll go ahead and hydrate as well. But yeah, a tidy home village for Salt Lake City's homeless gets a green light for 430 units. So let's go ahead and get started with the story. That's kind of nice, to have some homes there for the homeless. But 430 units, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and get started. I think this picture here um, is probably the affordable units that they are working on. All right, here we go. Taking the lead to fight the homelessness epidemic in America, the Salt Lake City Council has moved forward with a plan to lease 8 acres of city land to build a village of tiny homes. Described as recovery housing, the 430 units will provide an additional transition between total homelessness and total stability. The plan was introduced in April of 2021 and has taken a while to gain traction. On Tuesday, the City Council listened to concerns from the community about the use of city resources, causing $13.8 million. The village was stripped up by the Other Side Academy, which provides training and teaches pro social, vocational, and life skills, allowing attendees um, to emerge with a healthy life on the other side of criminal detention, substance abuse, or homelessness. But all are looking to change the direction of their lives. Um, the the Salt Lake City Council voted unanimously 7-0 in favor of the project, which is envisioned to be funded largely by contributions and donations rather than public money. No date has been given for a start date of construction, but the village concept art has shown a large circular vision, a village, excuse me, with paths extending into the various quarters centered around a central pagoda. The square would include retail shops, on site healthcare offices, and gardens. Cities around the country are grappling with the homelessness epidemic in different ways. Tiny homes are often touted as a worthwhile solution to investigate because it's very difficult, even with financial assistance, to acquire a bank account, housing, various medical assistance, or a job without having a permanent address. The plan is similar to a successful village in Austin, Texas. Elsewhere, Acres of Hope is a project of tiny homes for single moms in California. In Seattle, it's changing zone laws to allow a nonprofit to build tiny homes for prospective citizens in the backyards of volunteers. So we're going to go ahead and look at the video here, and this is a news report, I think, about the homes here. Now, this is a little bit of a long video, so I don't know if this is for the homes. I'm gonna play a little bit and see what this is about. I think this is like a news story though, so I don't know if it will get to the homeless part. I'm just zooming ahead and seeing. If not, then we'll probably might have to skip the video here. I feel like it features a news story here, like a news segment. So I don't know. We might have to skip the video because I feel like it's like um like a news broadcast, but it has something way different than what is being said here. But having this project is really good um, for the homeless people. Again, they have not start construction on it yet, but this is their plan right now for the village. 430 units, shopping mall, um, healthcare, and much more, just to combat the homelessness um, here in America. And that's all in Salt Lake City, and there have been other cities that are trying to do this as well. So um, that's kind of good, very good that they're doing this as well. Wonder what I don't know if there'll be any costs or I wonder if the government or anybody's helping pay for this assistance. So, but it's not a bad idea, and it's more to help our fellow people here. You know, just get off the streets and homeless and trying to start their lives back over. You know, trying to get a better life in. So, not a bad idea by the people of Salt Lake City here. So, Tiny Home Village for Salt Lake City's homeless gets green light for 430 units. And this for Andy Corbley of the Good News Network for October 26th of 2022. As we move on to story number 4 for this evening. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to A Ray of Sunshine. Again, so good to see everybody in here, either lurking or in the comments. I really do appreciate you guys so much for being here. As we start story number 4 of tonight, a high schooler Self-publishes fantasy novel over lockdowns as break from video games gets orders worldwide. This is for the Good News Network for October 26th of 2022. So somebody, this high schooler here just went and made novels when we were on the COVID lockdown, um, as a break from the video games, and um, has become popular. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at this um, young man here in his story, his novel that he has published, and you might have his book. You never know. So if you guys are ready, and here is his picture, and his name is Dylan Brennan. He's the author of Noble Betrayed. That is the book that he is holding in his hand right now. So go ahead and hydrate here. Get ready for our next story here. So let's go ahead and take a look at Dylan's story of his novel. Let's go ahead and get started. Um, Trying to distract himself from his PlayStation during COVID lockdowns, a London high schooler self published a fantasy novel that's now selling as far away as Australia. 16-year-old Dylan Brennan started writing Noble Betrayed in April 2020 after recognizing he was spending too much time playing video games. The aspiring lawyer said he had long dreamt of publishing a book, and lockdown gave him the perfect opportunity to knock out the first full draft in 9 months before the final copy was released in October of 2022. The book was inspired by Dylan's favorite authors, George R. R. Martin, J.R.R. Tolkien, and Andrzej Sapkowski. Hopefully I said that right. Who wrote The Witcher, the latter of which was turned into 3 award-winning role-playing video games. Quote, "It's amazing. It's a dream I've always had," said Dylan. "I'm so pleased with it, but I can't stop here. I'm already working on the next one. I love fantasy. It's just my genre." Um, Writing and publishing a book has never been easier, but at the same time, Dylan's decision to forfeit the easy dopamine hit of video games to do it speaks volume about his character. Yet at the same time, Dylan's influences were obviously heavily inspired in part by his fantasy video gaming. The right balance is key. The tale revolves around the main character, Lord Simon Pargion, visiting the court of close friend King Emanar um, Woodguard before uncovering a plot to kill him. Um, it combines the stereotypical elements of fantasy with the sense of community and atmosphere of living in London, he said. And some of the characters are named after his teachers at St. George's Catholic School in Maida Vale. Dylan says he has already bagged 150 pounds in sales from Spain, Germany, the USA, and Australia. Quote, "I think 50 copies is the expected number of sales for a self published first book," he said. "There's so much technology you can use to publish for yourself now, which takes out a few steps, and publishers always have their own direction they want you to take. I enjoy exploring the big divide in London, like the royal family, who are a tight unit with lots of drama, alongside the less well off people struggling to get by. Dylan plans to study to become a lawyer, but wants to keep writing as a side hustle, adding he's aiming for a crime novel next." So this is awesome that he's doing here, um, writing this book. Just the mindset's like, hey, I'm doing too much gaming. I need to do something creative. And writing this book, again, it's called Noble Betrayed. Dylan Brennan, right there. Um, he just decided, I'm going to go ahead and write a novel. And this was during lockdown. And again, he wrote this novel. It went published this year, actually. This actually just came out. So if you're interested in the novel, again, they probably have it like Amazon or something. Again, the book is called um, Noble Betrayed by Dylan Brennan. So might have to check the book out and see how he did. But um, just going on lockdown, he said, "I'm tired of gaming. need to do something. I'm gonna write a book, and there he is with the book right there, and he's already made some sales on it as well from around the world, which is amazing. So kudos to Dylan there for making the book there. So, high schooler self-publishes fantasy novel over lockdowns as break for video games gets orders worldwide. And again, this is from the Good News Network for October 26th of 2022. As we get ready to go to story 5 of 6 tonight. And coming up after these last two stories, again, it's positive videos. Two of them, one of them, excuse me, if I want to get ahead here, will feature all the positive stories from the month of October. So we're going to go a little bit back to October. And the second video will feature some newsworthy stories, um, good stories. Um, that's very informative, but also, again, good news as well. Story number 5 for this evening. A study finds that eating dinner as a family makes 91% of families less stressed. And this is from the Good News Network for October 27th of 2022. So eating dinner with the family is very, very important. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and continue. Story number 5 of 6 tonight here on A Ray of Sunshine. And thank you guys so much again for joining in. And thank you to the replay viewers. I just gotta forget the replay viewers. They come in here and watch the stories as well if they missed the live. But I always want to thank them as well for coming in and seeing the show and getting the stories as well. All right, so if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and get started with story number 5. Um, Everyone knows your family can be a pain in the neck sometimes, but regular family dinners can be the key to reduce stress levels in the household. This was found in a survey by the American Heart Association, who researched chronic stress, which can increase rates for all manner of non communicable heart diseases. Of the 1,000 U.S. adults nationwide surveyed in September 2022 by Wakefield Research on behalf of the AHA, 91% of respondents said their family was less stressed when they shared meals together. 84% say they wish they could share a meal more often with loved ones. Quote, sharing meals with others is a great way to reduce stress, boost self-esteem, and improve social connection, particularly for kids, said Erin Michaels, um, an American Heart Association volunteer from Johns Hopkins. Quote, chronic constant stress can also increase your lifetime risk of heart disease and stroke. So it is important for people to find ways to reduce and manage stress as much as possible, as soon as possible. Connecting with friends, families, co-workers, and neighbors benefits people beyond stress relief. In fact, the AHA survey found 67% of people say sharing a meal reminds them of the importance of connecting with other people, and 54% say it reminds them to slow down and take a break. The survey also identified the majority, 65% of adults, say they are at least somewhat stressed, and more than a quarter, 27%, are extremely or very stressed. Nearly 7 in 10 of survey respondents who are employed, full or part time, said they would feel less stressed at work if they had more time to take a break and share a meal with a coworker. Those surveyed say they are more likely, 59%, to make healthier food choices when eating with other people, but have difficulty aligning schedules with their friends or family to do so, according to the survey. Overall, respondents reported eating alone about half of the time. Um, Going on, quote, we know it's not always as easy as it sounds to get people together at mealtime. Like other healthy habits, give yourself permission to start small and build from there, Michael said. Set a goal to gather friends, family, or coworkers for one or more meal together each week. If you can't get together in person, think about how you can share a meal together over the phone or a computer. And that's a very, very good story here. Just point blank period, someone important, family, good friend, just have a good dinner with them. Talk, talk conversation. Tell them how your day was, what's going on, and all of that. It really does help out at the end to you know get that stress weight off you. Just to clear your mind and all of that. So particularly that's the summary of this story here. Make sure you have a good, especially at dinner. Um, some good friends, good family, laugh, talk about things, and more of the togetherness right there. So, study finds that eating dinner as a family makes 91% of families less stressed, and that's from the Good News Network for October 27th of 2022. As we get ready to go on to our last of our positive stories for tonight before we get to videos, and we're gonna end it out with some animals here. Um, Rhinos, exactly. Um, Incredible birth of endangered baby rhino is captured on zoo's cameras and galloping within minutes. This is from IndieCorply of the Good News Network for October 28th of 2022. So we're gonna end it out with some animals. I know I haven't done. Um, I don't know if I did any animals last week, so we're gonna go ahead and do that this week. 'Cause I know people love to see animals, dogs, cats, and all of this on the show. So we're gonna do a little bit different. Baby rhino coming to life here. So if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and close out positive stories with the birth of a baby rhino here. Let's go ahead and get started. Zookeepers in England were thrilled to watch their resident rhino give birth to a calf who was up and charging around within hours of accommodating herself to the world. The birth was captured in the late afternoon on the Chester Zoo's video cameras. The calf was born already weighing a hefty 120 pounds and will grow to around 1.7 tons. Um, 15-year-old mom Asha is an endangered greater one-horned rhino and had been pregnant for 15 months. Heartwarming video footage shows the youngster arriving into the world before Asha turns around to tenderly nuzzle her newborn. While adorable photos show the new arrival already trying to run, sporting the same slightly wrinkled armored plaiding as her parents. Quote, "We're absolutely thrilled with Asha in her new arrival," said Sam Harley, Rhino team manager at Chester Zoo. On the day the calf was born, we noticed that Asha was uncharacteristically lethargic and off her food. So we had a suspicion that she was soon to give birth. So there's mom and baby rhino right there on the picture there. As we continue on with the story, greater one-horned rhinos were once found roaming across the entire northern part of the Indian subcontinent. Conservationists are celebrating the birth of the endangered species, as only 4,000 of them remain in the wild. Times have been much tougher, though, as only around 100 could be found back in the 1970s. Quote, "At one point, there were less than 200 in the wild, so it's a real privilege to be able to care for this newborn," said Harley. Not everyone is lucky enough to see a rhino in the wild, but Asha, Dad Benny, and their new calf help our 2 million visitors a year to connect with this magnificent species. Keepers have picked three names for the new calf, and the public can vote for their favorite. The final names are Thuli, which is a river in Nepal, Jaya, which is the Indian meaning for sunshine. Oh, Jaya, a ray of Jaya. Think about that. And Balua, which is the Indian meaning for star. So here's the video, I think, of the birth of the rhino here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so there you have it, the birth of the baby rhino. There again, three names: Thule, Jaya, or Balula, Baluba. I think I said that right. But awesome to see their mother and babies doing wonderful. And see the pictures there. So such a great story to end out on the note here. So again, a credible birth of endangered baby rhino is captured on Zeus campus and galloping within minutes. And this is from Andy Corbley of the Good News Network for October 28th of 2022. As this ends the positive stories um, in of a ray of sunshine. And now we are going to get to our positive videos. Again, there are 4 positive videos for tonight. Um, 2 of them newsworthy, 1 motivational, and 1 to end it out on our famous quotes segment. So you want to stay tuned for our quotes. Some people love the quotes segment. I'm glad I brought that aboard to end our shows because it kind of gives us a little bit of a closure to the show and a little bit of a thinker to having those quotes there. But our first video, and I haven't done this in September. They haven't came out with a video in September of positive story of positive newsmakers, but they did one for October. So I think they're coming back on making YouTube videos on this. And we're gonna get started with our top 5 positive stories for the month of October. So let's go ahead and take a look at your 5 stories for October.
Has given us a lot of positives to warm our hearts. So counting down on the positives of the 10th month of the year, here are the top 5 positive news stories of October 2022. If you like the video and find the content meaningful, then kindly press the super thanks button and contribute whatever you can to the channel. Your contributions will help us create more engaging and informative positive videos. Number 5. Dwayne Johnson surprises real-life hero and brings him on TV to honor his services. An opportunity to meet Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a once-in-a-lifetime moment, but charity superhero Yuri Williams got so much more than just a handshake when The Rock decided he wanted to do something special for him. Having hit the silver screen as a superhero himself, The Rock surprised Yuri on live TV, brought him back to the Good Morning America studio to give him special tickets to see the premiere of Johnson's new movie Black Adam, raise awareness for Yuri's work, and add another suit to his costume collection. Yuri Williams is just one man, but he's many heroes. Deadpool, Spider-Man, and The Mandalorian are all costumes he puts on to put a smile on the faces of the people in need of one, whether they be the homeless, sick children, elderly, or veterans. Williams Charity, a future superhero and friends, organized toy drives, blood drives, school supply giveaways, youth art fairs, and so much more. And they've done it in all 50 states. Much of his work is taken up by visiting children with special needs or who suffer from serious illnesses. After struggling with depression during and after his mother's passing from cancer in 2009, Yuri decided the best way to recover was to channel his pain into relieving others. We've never met until now, but I'm really so proud of you, brother, and the work that you do, because I always like to say, this kind of stuff you're doing, that's the best part of fame, Dwayne told Yuri on live TV. Number 4. 275 rare parrots saved from hurricane at Florida sanctuary. 275 exotic parrots are now on their way to a new wildlife sanctuary after their heroic caretaker pulled all of them up into his stilted house like Noah's Ark to ride out Hurricane Ian. There's no question in Will Peratino's mind that if he had not done so, the waves which crested his 5-foot-high fencing around Malama Manu Sanctuary on Pine Island would have drowned all of them. After the devastation, a full-scale volunteer effort transported all 275 parrots by boat through flooded canals to solid ground, where they will be taken to another wildlife sanctuary. The efforts were led by Project Dynamo, a volunteer rescue operation from Tampa that heard about Peratino's plight. They put together a team and 4 boats to put all the parrots into cat-sized pet carriers and bring them off the ravaged Pine Island. There is a lot of work ahead for this parrot-loving man to build a new home for the flock, which includes breeding pairs meant to safeguard populations of endangered animals from becoming extinct. It's as close to a modern reproduction of the story of Noah as one can find. You can help build another ark by contributing to the GoFundMe page to fund the rebuilding of the sanctuary. Number 3. Turkey's greenest soccer stadium earns it a place in the Guinness World Records. The legendary Turkish football club has found a way to cut its energy costs and make money from electricity while going green. Galatasaray, one of Turkey's biggest four football clubs, set a world record for the amount of megawatts produced by the stadium's solar panels, earning it a place in the Guinness World Records. The club and the energy company running the system, Energisa, were presented with a certificate acknowledging the feat of producing 4.2 megawatts from 10,404 panels on the roof of the Ali Sami Yenspor Kompleksi Stadium in Istanbul. According to the stadium's director Ali Selik Giran, who is an electric engineer by training, the panel's energy savings equate to the energy use of 2,000 houses and will cut 3,250 tons of carbon per year. In natural terms, he estimates that's the same as saving around 200,000 trees over 25 years. The solar energy produced from the panels provides between 63 to 65% of the stadium's electricity use, with the rest coming from the municipal electricity provider. While electricity prices have risen, the solar panels have led to savings of around €385,000 this year. With many Europeans worried about how to pay their energy bills, the title of most powerful solar-powered stadium sets an inspiring example beyond the sporting world. Number 2. Repair cafes giving broken electronics a new lease of life. We are surrounded by electronic devices that are an integral part of our daily lives. Microwaves, TVs, kettles, hoovers, it's long list of the electricals we depend on for food, drinks, cleaning, communication, and entertainment. In fact, European homes have an average of 74 electricals, according to the Waste Electrical and Electronic Equipment Forum. Even just one item malfunctioning could be very costly. But what if instead of replacing these items when they break, we could repair them for free? That's where repair cafes come in. Every Wednesday afternoon, a group of volunteers come to a repair workshop in an Amsterdam cafe to learn or use technical skills. Locals from across the city bring along broken electrical devices, like DIY tools and kitchen appliances. Then they work with a team of mechanics and engineers to try and bring them back to life, saving clients money and keeping perfectly good equipment out of landfill. Those who visit often learn new skills, empowering them to be braver about trying to fix things around the house. For the volunteer repairmen and women, there's a real sense of satisfaction in their work. And it's great news for the environment. This repair cafe is part of a network of dozens of cafes across Amsterdam, where experts try to repair old items. If you've got an appliance you'd like to try and fix, it's worth checking the house rules of your local repair cafe, rather than just showing up. And don't forget, it's a great learning opportunity. Rather than seeing it as a free repair service, make sure you ask lots of questions and learn the art of fixing from your repairman or woman. These repair cafes help breathe a new lease of life to electrical appliances, thereby reducing landfill. Number 1. Hero honeymooners rescue sleeping babies from burning nursery in Spain. Picture it, you and your spouse are on your honeymoon in Europe, you see a burning building, you decide to be heroes and run inside through the smoke. And you end up in a room with panicking nurses, 20 sleeping infants, and no one speaks English. Incredibly, that was the situation Rhode Island honeymooners David Squilante and Doran Smith found themselves in last month in Barcelona. The newlywed 38-year-olds were on their way to tour a park when they saw a group of women standing around panicking next to a doorway, out of which was wafting thick smoke. Who knows what possessed the non-Spanish speaking honeymooners to run inside the burning building? As there was nothing on the exterior that hinted at the precious cargo within, they could have just been running into a normal apartment building. They entered a room that had not caught fire and realized they were in a nursery of all places. Instinct took over, and they found themselves looking at 15 to 20 babies sleeping, and immediately just kind of lined everyone up, and they started grabbing them, putting them into the crib. After everyone was out safely, the pair continued their honeymoon, and they went right on to take the park tour they had planned. If you liked the video and find the content meaningful, then
Alright, so those were your top 5 positive stories for the month of October. And I do remember we did do the number 1 story there of the honeymoon couple um, went into the nursery to save the babies. They didn't know what they were going into. I guess they were trying to make sure everybody was out, and lucky for them, they um, they went ahead and saw those babies before the fire went into that nursery and took them out. So that was very incredible for what they did on their honeymoon. And again, I said that's going to be a story that they will have for a lifetime for their first honeymoon. Also, The Rock and the guy that he met. I did read something about that. That was kind of incredible there, and the parrots getting saved by the hurricane in Florida. And how about that stadium in Turkey, all using um, solar panels, saving energy to that stadium. Some concept that the NFL has to think about as well. That's kind of amazing what they're doing over there in Turkey with the stadium. So, but those are some good stories for the to end out the month of October with, and hopefully we'll have some good ones for the month of November as we head on to the holiday season. So our next video, I think this is about 5 or 6 sections maybe for this one. These are all the news stories that happen around the world, or probably just in Europe, but it could be from around the world as well. Could be from health, transportation, could be animals, it could be anything. What this news story is about to happen. So let's go ahead and take a look at the top news stories that are happening from around the world.
Roundup. We're here to remind you that there's good news if you know where to look. The world could be only a few years away from a cancer vaccine. A baby received the world's first successful intestinal transplant. And new research says transplanted livers can keep going for more than 100 years. If you have always wanted to move to Spain, a new digital nomad visa could let you stay there for 5 years. And the number of below the poverty line in India has halved in a 15-year period. We also look at a very special Parisian dancing studio. Stay tuned. Vaccines to treat cancer could be here before 2030, say the founders of German firm BioNTech, that along with Pfizer manufactured the revolutionary mRNA COVID-19 vaccine. Professors Ur Shahim and Osliam Tureji told the BBC they had made recent breakthroughs that could see a cure for cancer before the end of the decade. World scientists have been working on a cancer vaccine for decades, and the two scientists say that their experience of trying to develop a cancer vaccine helped them develop the COVID-19 vaccine, which in turn helped them accelerate the cancer vaccine. Researchers also think the rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines revealed the possibilities of mRNA vaccine technology, and that the development of the shot in record time also opened the way for regulators to speed up the process of vaccine approvals. These will also help us accelerate any cancer vaccine. A 13-month-old Spanish baby girl called Emma has received the world's first intestine transplant through an asystolic donation from a donor at the end of their life. 30% of intestine transplant candidates die on the waiting list, and there are very few young donors. On top of that, the asystolic technique had not been previously used for the intestine because it was thought it was not possible.
Hay pocos donantes en edad pediátrica, hay mucho más para estos receptores que pesan apenas 3 kilos cuando necesitan el órgano. De manera que decidimos, en paralelo estaba evolucionando de manera exponencial la donación en asistolia, que es la donación después de la parada cardiocirculatoria en España, y nosotros veíamos como para todos los órganos sólidos, digamos que la asistolia era una solución a la falta de donantes, excepto para el intestino.
The baby is now in perfect condition at home with her parents.
Creo que es importante insistir como directora de la ONT en lo que representa este trasplante, lo que ha representado para Emma, pero lo que va a representar este trasplante para muchos niños en España y en otros países del mundo, porque realmente estamos hablando de un hito. Es el primer trasplante intestinal de donante en asistolia que se efectúa en España y en el mundo.
In similar news, new research from the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center has found that transplanted livers from older people can continue working for more than 100 years in total, even outlasting those from younger donors. The finding is important because, like Emma's transplant, it paves the way for a much bigger donation pool for surgeons to draw on, giving a new hope to future patients. If you have always wanted to live in Spain, a new digital nomad visa could let you stay there for 5 years. Spain could soon introduce a digital nomad visa that would give non-European nationals the chance to live and work in the country for up to 5 years. They want to attract and retain international and national talents by helping remote workers and digital nomads set up in Spain. If the visa, which could be introduced as soon as January next year, is approved, the country will join a number of other European nations that have introduced some form of digital nomad scheme in the last few years, including Italy, Greece, and Croatia. The number of people below the poverty line in India dropped by about 415 million between 2005 and 2021, according to the new Multidimensional Poverty Index by the United Nations Development Programme and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. The country's Multidimensional Poverty Index value and incidence of poverty were both more than halved. And of the 415 million that exited poverty, 140 million have done so since 2015. The number of children classified as living in poverty also fell faster in absolute terms. It's been called a historic change by the UN, who say it demonstrates that their Sustainable Development Goals, which aim to at least halve the proportion of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty by 2030, is feasible, even at a large scale.
I think we need to learn what went right, because 400 million people is a big number. It can provide insights for other regions.
La danse m'a vraiment réconciliée avec ce corps et du coup m'a fait prendre conscience que j'avais un corps entier, parce que souvent quand on est paraplégique on ne sent pas le bas et du coup on a la sensation d'être coupé en deux. Par contre, la danse, ça m'a vraiment permis de rattacher les jambes avec le tronc, parce que en danse, on touche son corps, on touche vraiment toutes les parties du corps. Le partenaire peut aussi toucher le corps. C'est différent, ça bouge différemment, mais on retrouve cette même liberté qu'une personne valide.
Cathy Mepuy, a dancer and choreographer, founded the dance company La Possible Échappée in 2007. She says she prefers to avoid the terms such as inclusive dance or adaptive dance.
Ce qui est bien dans l'art, c'est qu'on peut retrouver son âme d'enfant. Donc, avec un fauteuil, on peut glisser, on peut tourner, on peut être en équilibre. Donc, ça nous change vraiment nos appuis. Et je trouve que c'est formidable de pouvoir justement retrouver cette forme d'innocence.
The company does around 500 dance and live performance workshops per year. And they are also working with a medical social group on a study to measure the impact of dance on health. If you enjoyed this all-positive roundup, like this video and share it with your friends. And remember, it can be hard to find among the headlines, but some...
All right, so those were your positive stories, news stories, real positive news stories there. Actually from this week, probably it's from this week. So how about that? Get a visa. They're planning on in Spain doing a visa project where you could live there for 5 years, work, live there, enjoy Spain, be an international citizen there. So that's kind of awesome. And also the major one there is the transplants. The little kid there getting an intestine implant, which I've never heard of that, but amazing stuff with that, and making history there to being the first patient doing that, and also the liver transplant. How about being an older adult and doing a transplant, say like giving to another young person or an older person? The liver can live up to 100 years, barring it's in good health. So that's amazing as well. So, and also at the end there, they're doing the aerobics there, the wheelchair and all of that, the dancing, which is amazing as well to, get them feeling great, and having a more physical activity as well. So those were the again those good news stories there. By that video there. And now we're going to get to a motivational video right now. And this is becoming someone that nobody thought you could be. Something uplifting. Some stuff you don't know, if you could do it or not. So some kind of good motivational video for that. So we'll go ahead and take a look. It's about 17 minutes long, and let's go ahead and get started. A second here. All right.
Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got.
Hey, Chris, how you doing? No
I
problem.
have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly. So you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become. Of all the assignments Mr. Shoaff gave me at age 25, this was probably the most difficult. In fact, I'm still working on this one. I think it's an unending challenge to see what you can become. And it's good to study the basics. And I call these basics primarily because they come from the Bible. Now, I'm not a theologian or a minister, and that'll be apparent. But Mr. Shoaff taught me that the Bible was a good textbook for ideas and stories and success equations, how to live the better life. I found out that was true. He also taught me that the Bible is as practical as it is spiritual, and I found out that's true. If you look at your bank account and your income and you're not happy, there are several places in the Bible to check to see what the heck's wrong, so you can make the changes. Mr. Shoaff taught me how to set goals. What a favor that was. One morning at breakfast, shortly after I met him, he said, Jim, let me see your current list of goals, and let's go over them and talk about them. He said, maybe that's the best way I can help you get a better direction started. And I said, I don't have a list. He said, well, is it out in the car or home somewhere? I said, no, sir. I don't have a list anywhere. He said, well, young man, that's where we got to start. He said, I can tell you right now, if you don't have a list of your goals with you, he said, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s, which he did. And that got my attention. I said, you mean my bank balance would change if I had a list of goals? He said, drastically. That day, I became a willing student how to set goals. And sure enough, learning how to set goals changed my life. And I often wondered why no one had ever taught me how to set goals up until age 25. I went to high school, but if they offered it, I missed it. I went to college for a year, never heard it. right? How to set goals. So here I am, age 25, married, my family's starting, I've been to college, I'm working, and I still don't know how to set goals. But fortunately, when I was 25, I met the man who taught me how, and it revolutionized my whole life. Economically, socially, personally, it's incredible. Okay, life is part negative, so we got to talk about the negative. Diseases of attitude. There's a lot of things that can wreck your chances to do well. We live in a rather dangerous world, so you got to be not only wise, you got to be careful. Now, attitude diseases are just as bad as physical diseases, right? High blood pressure, heart trouble. I mean, a lot of things lace your chances to do well. So you've got to be careful. And attitude diseases are deadly. I mean, they'll destroy all the good things you start. Human beings are emotional creatures. And emotions are powerful for life change. Now, of course, emotions are so powerful they can go either way on you. Emotions can either build or destroy. So you really have to employ emotions properly. We call civilization the intelligent management of human emotions. If you can intelligently apply your emotions in the right direction, no telling what can happen. Could turn your life around one day would be sufficient.
Become the best listener in the world. There's a conversation going on right now in the world, and it's a scary conversation. War, terrorism, eco-destruction, extinction of species, poison in our food chain, climate change. That's part of the conversation. But there's also another story alongside with that. Are we going to allow extinction, the sixth extinction, to take place? Or can we together create a story for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world? Because as Mahatma Gandhi said, if we can't be the change that we want to see in the world, then we'll end up being angry, active, angry peace advocates, peace activists who are angry. And that's a contradiction in itself. So listen to the zeitgeist of the moment. Create a vision for yourself. Get together with people who want to share your vision. Bond with them emotionally. Complement their strengths with your strengths. There's nothing that cannot be accomplished when we share vision together, when we bond emotionally, when we complement each other's strengths. And I know my son is sitting there in the audience, and he's got a series called Religion of Sport. I'll tell you, any sport team that wins has those characteristics: shared vision, emotional bonding, and complementing strengths. We have to do that together. It is your journey now that is going to help us go in that direction. Even more important, be authentic, have integrity, be responsible for your health and the health and joy of others. Recognize that the most valuable things in life don't come with degrees, they don't come with credentials. The most valuable things in life come with your ability to create relationship, your ability to nurture love, your ability to have empathy and compassion and equanimity and joy, your desire to evolve in the direction of truth, goodness, harmony, beauty, peace, and joy. Without that, it is a futile experience. Academia is great because it brings us knowledge, but unless you self-reflect, unless you ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? What kind of world do I want to live in? What kind of world do I want future generations to live in? What am I doing to manifest that dream? Does my daily activity in some way reflect the dream that I have? If we don't ask ourselves those questions, then our life will not have been fruitful. Reflecting back now, 50 years ago or more, I graduated, and it seems to have gone by like a dream. The German philosopher Wittgenstein said, "We are asleep, our life is a dream." We are asleep, our life is a dream, but once in a while, we wake up enough to know that we're dreaming. So what do we wake up to? We wake up to the awareness in which all experience happens. This is an experience right now. But the first part of this evening is already over. It's a dream. 5 minutes ago is already over. It's a dream. A minute ago is already over. By the time I get to the end of my sentence, the first part is over. You can't grasp the past, you can't grasp the future, and the present is over as soon as it is born. So we must wake up to the presence in which this is all happening. Experience is in time, but the awareness in which experience happens is not in time. So I'd just like you to try something right now. As you're listening to me right now, just turn your attention to that which is having this experience. Be aware of that in which this experience is happening. That awareness is the only real thing about you. Everything else arises and subsides in every moment of time. Hold on to that. Hold on to the presence in which experience happens. And recognize that experience is in time, but you, that which has the experience, is not in time. The same awareness when you were a baby, the same awareness when you were a teenager, now, and because it's not in time, we are told by the great luminaries of all time, the sages of the Upanishads, that this awareness that you are is not subject to birth or death. Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it, weapons cannot shatter it, fire cannot burn it. You are that. All this is that, and that alone is. So without that self-awareness, life could go by as a dream, but to wake up to it is the goal of our life. Waking up to presence, waking up to spirit, waking up to our soul cannot be done through a system of thought, be it religion or philosophy or theology or science. Because reality is not a system of thought. Reality is that which gives rise to thought. And as we trace thought back to its source, we realize it is also the source of perception. It is also the source of feeling. It is also the source of everything that happens in our life, our personal relationships, our social interactions, that which we call the world, the universe. It arises and subsides in our own being. And that is the highest intelligence. Being is the highest intelligence. Feeling comes after that. Feeling that we call love, compassion, joy, equanimity. And then thinking, but not dogmatic thinking, but living the questions. And if we live the questions, then life moves us into the answers. And finally, the last is doing. We're living in a society today where everybody is doing, bundles of conditioned reflexes and nerves constantly being triggered by people and circumstance into predictable outcomes. We are algorithms, we are biological robots, because we have not woken up to that in which all experience happens. But don't forget that God's language is silence, and everything else is poor translation.
Is it true what you thought was absolute at the age of 12 today is not true? Yes or no? Are you sure that whatever you think is this is it right now will be this is it in another 3 years' time? You know that, so you know you're wrong. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you know anyway you're wrong, so why assert the wrong things? Well, right now we are wrong, at least let's manage with little more conscious. If you know you're wrong, you will walk carefully, isn't it? Hello? But you think you're absolutely correct, then you will do stupid things and you blunder around the world. If you know you're not seeing properly, will you walk carefully or no? If I ask you to walk through a dark room, suppose we turn off all the lights and close it down, everything, pitch dark, if I ask you to walk, suddenly will you become super alert and conscious as to how you walk? But when the lights are on, you're just going unconsciously, bumping into everybody. So if you learn to walk every moment like there are no lights and you're looking at everything absolutely carefully, then what you see clearly, you go through it, what you don't see clearly, you hesitate, some places you take a little bit of chance. But if you are just confident, you will blunder through life, we don't know where you will get in and what you will get trapped into. Most people are trapped into their professions, their family situations, their social situations in such a way, they all became like that. Yes, already I'm seeing, not just older people, youth have become like this. What will happen to me at the end of my life? What will happen to me at the end of my life? I'm already revealed the secret, you will die. But Sadhguru, if this happens, what to do? If that happens, what to do? All those things will happen. It's not that everything will happen in your life the way you like it, things will happen in the way you don't like it. It once happened, Shankaran Pillai got fired from his job simply because he asked a question, smoking or not smoke, non-smoking. How can you get fired for asking such a simple question? Smoking or non-smoking, he asked, and he got fired. Because what he was supposed to ask was cremation or burial. Many times what you do, thinking I'm right, may be irrelevant to the situation in which you exist. So the most important aspect of your life is you're relevant, not right. You're just relevant. To the existing situation, you're relevant. I am right, I am right, I am right. This is confidence. You being right, nobody cares. All the idiots who think they're right, nobody wants to listen to them, nobody wants to be around them, isn't it? People who always think, I'm right, you want to be around them? No, the important thing is you're relevant to the situation in which you exist. If you have to bring relevance into your life, you must extinguish your confidence and bring clarity.
All right, so that's the video. Again, become someone nobody thought you could be. That was the title of the video there. So some very inspirational stuff there that hopefully y'all have grasped in that video. It's more, um, set goals, and also, just be kind of like being smart about things and knowing that, hey, you can do certain things. So if you put in the right mindset to your goals or your ambitions or a better job, all of that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that little bit of an inspirational piece there of becoming a better you. Now we're going to get on to our final video for this evening, our famous quotes video, as always. And this is from Mr. John Rockefeller here. Oh, Chev. Hey, Chev. How you doing? Thank you for the raid, man. Do appreciate you. It's been a while. How are you doing? And yes, give Chev a shout out. Thank you for the shout out to Chev there. And Mawal's in here. Hey, Mawal, how you doing? So good to see you guys in here. Chev, thank you again for the raid. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're doing good. We're almost at the end of our show. We're going to end out with our famous quotes here. Before that, I did miss a couple comments here, and Chris said confidence to just do it. Exactly. Confidence to again go from your goals, your ambitions, and all of that. That is definitely key to succeeding in life as well. Frank says if you have goals like that kid from okay, you know what? if y'all missed you did a Halloween Youth Berry, a great friend and supporter of the broadcast, did a Halloween show last night. So this is what Frank is referring to. If you have goals like that kid from Halloween, you can achieve anything. So if she kept a replay up, please do check out the trick or treating show she did. Very good show she did last night with the trick or treaters. And she had about 200. What's the count, Frank? 259 trick or treaters. Amazing that she has all those trick or treaters at her house that last night. I'm doing good. How have you been doing? I've been doing good. Working and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I've been doing great. And Malwal's been doing great. I know he's a little bit under the weather with the throat. I kind of had the same thing with the cold throat thing. So feel better and send Malwal some prayers as well. Hopefully you will feel better as well. This whole weather changing and all of this is really getting the hang of stuff here. So, and I think they say it's supposed to get even warmer next week here. So, interesting. Frank's all laughing. 256. That was the total. Okay. Yep, 256 trick-or-treaters at her house. That was incredible. Rick trick-or-treaters. And there were 7 dinosaurs, 7 big dinosaurs. Y'all have to check that replay, the huge dinosaur costumes. I'm like, wow, how? So make sure to check her replay. That was a great show she did with the trick-or-treaters. It might have like a couple parts to it because her Wi-Fi went out a bit, but a good replay to see and all the kids and the candy and all of that. So and thank you for giving her a shout out. I felt good enough to speak through my stream actually. That's good. Good job. Good. See, I didn't think I was gonna gonna do the stories because of my throat as well, but I managed to get by it. My throat feels a little bit better as well, so something that's coming and going. So, which is kind of awesome. I'd like to be coming and going than just staying, and then I get worse. So that's awesome. So managed to get through the show. We got one more bit of video to get to. It's our famous quote segment we always end the show with. And again, this is for John Rockefeller and his quotes. So let's go ahead and get started. And before we get started, Frank has some hockey news for his Montreal Canadiens. 3-0 Minnesota versus the Habs. And I don't know why he's celebrating. I told him the Habs, Montreal is doing good. I don't know why he wants them to lose, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and hear John Rockefeller's quotes to end out our show.
Founded on business is better than a business founded on a friendship. There is no other quality so essential to success of any kind as the quality of perseverance. It overcomes almost everything, even nature. The impression was gaining ground with me that it was a good thing to let the money be my slave and not make myself a slave to money. The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well. Good management consists in showing average people how to do the work of superior people. How much money does it take to make a man happy? Just one more dollar. You should rather hire a man with enthusiasm than a man who knows everything. The success of each is dependent upon the success of the other. You should always try to turn every disaster into an opportunity. A man has no right to occupy another man's time unnecessarily. Think of giving not as a duty, but as a privilege. A man of words and not of deeds is like a garden full of weeds. If your only goal is to become rich, you will never achieve it. Success comes from keeping the ears open and the mouth closed. I would rather earn 1% off 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. I know nothing is more despicable and pathetic than a man who devotes all the hours of the waking day to the making of money for money's sake. The only thing which is of lasting benefit to a man is that which he does for himself. Money, which comes to him without effort on his part, is seldom a benefit and often a curse. If you want to succeed, you should strike out on new paths rather than travel the worn paths of accepted success. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll be able to see farther. A man's wealth must be determined by the relation of his desires and expenditures to his income. If he feels rich on $10 and has everything else he desires, he really is rich. You should never have ambition to make a fortune. Mere money-making should never be your goal. You have an ambition to build. You should have ways of making money that other people know nothing of. It is wrong to assume that men of immense wealth are always happy. There is no mystery in business success. If you do each day's task successfully and stay faithfully within these natural operations of commercial laws, which I talk so much about, and keep your head clear, you will come out all right. It is very important to remember that other people tell you, not so much what you yourself already know. The poorest man I know is the man who has nothing but money. He who works all day has no time to make money. Our cup will truly run over only after we have sealed the character cracks. Nobody does anything if he can get anybody else to do it. When work goes out of style, we may expect to see civilization totter and fall. Giving should be entered into in just the same way as investing. Giving is investing. Charity is injurious unless it helps the recipient to become independent of it. Singleness of purpose is one of the chief essentials for success in life, no matter what may be one's aim. The root of all evil is not money, but the lack of money. Do not many of us who fail to achieve big things fail because we lack concentration? The art of concentrating the mind on the thing to be done at the proper time and to the exclusion of everything else. The most important thing for a young man is to establish credit, a reputation, and character. Don't work after 50 because money won't let you know yourself. Spend time wisely, then you will be extended. People become poor because in their youth they set their priorities wrong. If you are alive, you are already rich. The way to make money is to buy when blood is running in the streets. I believe in the dignity of labor, whether with head or hand, that the world owes no man a living, but that it owes every man an opportunity to make a living. Next to doing the right thing, the most important thing is to let people know you are doing the right thing. The road to happiness lies in two simple principles. Find what it is that interests you and that you can do well. And when you find it, put your whole soul into it with every bit of energy and ambition and natural ability you have. The ability to deal with people is as purchasable a commodity as sugar or coffee, and I will pay more for that ability than for any other under the sun. I believe that love is the greatest thing in the world, that it alone can and will triumph over might.
All right, so that's John Rockefeller's quotes there to close out our show for this evening. So very amazing quotes there by Mr. Rockefeller. Some I'm just like, but most of them were kind of straightforward if you would think about that. And I know one of the quotes he talked about. I think a couple of them was rich, but there was one of them something with the rich in it. I was like, well, I guess I ain't gonna win the Powerball if I can't get it that easy, right? By the way, $1.2 billion last I've heard in the Powerball is tomorrow. So if you're interested in buying a ticket, there's your total. It might go up before the drawing as well. So that's the end of the show for tonight. Episode 2 of season 3 is in the books. I really do appreciate you guys being here before that. Let's go ahead and I actually got some important stuff to say to wrap up our show here. I liked a lot of those quotes. Yeah, they were very good. Very good quotes by Mr. Rockefeller there. Again, some of them, I have to mind boggle. It's like, what is he saying there? But most of them, again, kind of straightforward if you think about what he's saying there as well. But some very, very good quotes this evening by Mr. John Rockefeller. we're in November. This is the time where Raymond's going to be a little bit busy. The holiday season's about to happen where I'm working at. So I know I've been on start the show, a couple of these shows starting on Tuesday. But now I'm going to say we're going to start our holiday hours from this month all the way to January. So I'm going to get committed here for our holiday hours. So starting next week, the show will be every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to jot that down as well. Um, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, starting next week here on my Twitch channel as we're now getting into holidays. So we're getting to busy season. November, December, and January. Thanksgiving is coming right around the corner. So as we are starting off the month of November. So again, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, here on my Twitch channel. And yeah, I'm gonna be pretty busy coming up in the next few weeks. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the holiday hours for the channel. Discord. If you're not joined my Discord, make sure to exclamation point Discord. All the stories and videos that you have seen tonight will be on my Discord. Also, stories that were from Summer of Sunshine and from last season of A Ray of Sunshine is in the Discord as well. Make sure to join my Discord. Let's see, the mental health hour, and I have to get them set up here. Tim and Gemma tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, on Tim Conrad's channel. I forgot to stop screen here, and now I got to put the other screen up. And I will show you what they will be talking about tomorrow night, as I got the graphics up for that. Here we go. Hopefully we'll share it here. And go back to the screen here. There we go. Oh, and it actually put it on me on the side there. Good. They're going to be talking about the cost of living. Episode 72 there. Very important topic actually that they will be describing tomorrow night. So inflation, again, you got the holidays coming up. It can take a toll to the mind of, with that, and also with bills and everything that is going on. So a very important topic of mental health there. So cost of living will be the topic for their discussion tomorrow night on the Mental Health Hour, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, and 10 p.m. in the UK. UK is having their daylight savings time, which I will get to that in a minute as well. So make sure to tune in to that broadcast as well. And let's see, Catalyst, Jim does Catalyst Wednesday nights at 11 as well. Twitch Blitz Thursday nights after Thursday Night Football, and Saturday Night Trivia at 10 p.m. I have to catch his Halloween show. He did Saturday night. Make sure to follow Jim, twitch.tv, Jim in Chicagoland. And finally, a PSA. Speaking of daylight savings time and little mindset there. Set your clocks back 1 hour Saturday night before you go to bed. And make sure to check your smoke detectors, your carbon monoxide batteries, and all of that, as we are falling back an hour. So some of us glad to have an extra hour of sleep. Some of us will be working, but I think we leave early, quote early. But just to set it for the time there. So make sure to set your clocks back an hour. For daylight savings time, okay? And I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and catch comments before I get ready to go here. Let's see. Oh no, Frank's saying the D word. You're going against Raw. I am going against Raw. I have to do that, Frank. No, thank you. Yeah, you're gonna be on the show, Frank. You're gonna be watching me even when you're watching Raw. Okay, I think that's it. So and also Malwell was in here. Make sure to follow Malwell. I think he was playing some Zelda tonight. So make sure to check him out. And Chev, thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate the raid. I have not seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing well, and so good to see you in here. So good to see you in here. Look at your other screen. This dude's gonna make me end the show doing some jumping jacks. Oh my god. I guess that's a good. At least you did that when I'm about to end the show, so I will do that. And also thank you to Chris, if he's still in here. Thank you so much for being in here. And I think that's it. I think that's and any replay viewers or lurkers, thank you guys so much as well. Let's go ahead and do these jumping jacks real quick. I love that he's doing these jumping jacks before I end the show out, because he wants to see it. So again, I don't know how you get all these points. But thank you for being a loyal viewer. That's why I put the jumping jacks in there. Okay, here we go. And my knee is for sitting down so long. I have to get that warmed up as well. All right, here we go. All right. There you go. 10 jumping jacks, and there were no excuses on that. So thank you so much, Frank. All right. Oh, and also, the Superstar feature that's now on Twitch. They have put that on here, so we can have guests on Twitch now. So hopefully I get to test that out and soon. So hopefully soon. Frank says, let's go. Maybe soon, Frank. Maybe soon. All right. Let's see who we can raid real quick. Who we got on here? Who should I give the raid to? There is someone I met, and she has been on Periscope, but I'm just meeting this person. Let's test it out. Probably on another broadcast. I'll do a test on it. Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll test it out before I do my my gaming stream tomorrow night. Yeah, we're gonna raid her. We'll say hello to her. Someone that's been on Periscope before. I think she's now coming to Twitch, or she's starting Twitch again. So it'll be a first time that I'll do a raid for her. Her name is Alexis. I think she's playing a game tonight, but she's actually a singer. But I think she did say something about she was going to play some game tonight. So yeah, Alexis Monet. That's her name. So we're gonna go ahead and give her a raid. I have talked to her, and she seems like a cool person to meet. So make sure to say hello. Stay a bit if you want, or just say hello and all of that. But we're interested to see what game she's playing. So let's go ahead and head over there. So until then, if you're into gaming, I will see you guys tomorrow night. If you're into positive stories, I will see you guys Monday night at 7 p.m. All right. Till then, be positive, stay safe, and be kind to one another. And I will see you guys later. So have a great night. Let's go say hi to Alexis.